Hello everybody, Steffi here from The Makers. Welcome to our live stream. If you're watching this live indeed on the 22nd of the 11th, 2022. It's a good date today, 221122. And you are watching our little needle-felted reindeer. And if you're wondering why I haven't got a sample to show you, that's because I forgot the samples back at our HQ, and I did try to make another sample, but I had something pop up that I couldn't get out of. So apologies if I have got kind of a half finished sample, but I won't show it to you because you might just switch off if you see my half finished sample. So instead look at the picture and just look forward to the finished one at the very end of this live stream. And of course, as always, we've got our little giveaway that you can enter today. And the giveaway, the way that it works is that you can win yourself a £15 gift voucher to spend at our shop. And when you're watching and you're commenting, these comments, obviously we see those comments and we see the names, and we will always draw 2 people out of each live stream, whether this is on Tuesday at 1 p.m. on YouTube or on Thursday when the live stream is repeated at 7 p.m. on our Facebook page, and 2 people of each of those will go into the big draw, and then at the end of the month we draw a winner out of the big pot, so to speak. So make sure you watch every week and make sure you also comment if you want to be in for a chance to win a £15 voucher. And the giveaway this week, oh no, I said I wasn't going to do that. Quickly go take it away. I want to come up with something else. I actually want you to tell me a funny name or a name, practical, funny, or whatever, for a reindeer. If you had to name a reindeer, what would it be? Ignore what the screen I've just flashed in front of you, it's habit, but I'm actually not going to go down that route of that question. Tell us what you think is an ideal name for a reindeer. It can be funny, it can be practical, witty, anything. Just give us a good idea, and then we'll work out why you might have wanted to name that reindeer like that. I'm going to go onto the overview screen here, and I will unpack our little reindeer kit. If you're watching this any time later on, these little kits obviously stay for sale. They're quite seasonal, so we probably won't be selling them in the summer, but you can certainly get it still at this moment when the live stream is taking place. And as always, you get the full set of instructions, and on this one you also get a nice template that you can use for guidance. In there mostly is the Corsa wool, that's the Caracol Merino. Some of you may have Russian Caracol in there. As the sheep, sometimes the change colors in the summer depending on how much sun they're exposed to. The 2 colors can actually be very, very alike. You also get a little bit of dark brown, which is it can be either the Spanish top, or you could also be using mountain sheep back, or even milk sheep, to be honest. You've got our eco wool mats in there, and then you've got a wisp of the white and the claret red, and 2 glue-in eyes. You have in there a flexible steel wire there. You've got a pipe cleaner with a dense brown fluffy cover, and then you've got 3 coarse felting needle in the kit, and that's basically all you need to make the little reindeer that we will be making together now. I should say that I have been making this little reindeer, I've been making this little reindeer at hundreds of times now, teaching it at the various shows I've been to since the summer, and it's such a fun project. I really enjoy teaching it. So this is going to be just another one of those, but I normally have an hour and a half to teach people, but so I'm in an hour. I will be obviously a little bit faster than maybe some of you who've been to the workshop are watching. That would be nice to know, so please make yourself known. But I will just say hello to those who have joined us already. So we've got Gina there. Oh no, it looks like it's about to rain again here in Lincolnshire. Yes, it's definitely cooler. I can totally second that. Hi, Carol. Laura is there. Diane is there. Jennifer is there from the USA. Sandra, hello Sandra. Vicky, Vampire Venom. Anne is there. It's freezing in Edinburgh. Well, it was almost freezing this morning in Gloucestershire as well. Marion is here. Sam is here. Alison, Catherine, Lorna, Blue Skies where she is. Melissa is there. Bridget, hello Bridget. We all envy you because you're in the summer now. So that's almost reaching the peak of summer. We've got Olga is there, hello. And we've got Adri. And she's already, or he, I don't know if that's a he or a she or whatever. The name she or he or they suggest is store. You have to tell us what that means in English, unless it is an English name, and I have no idea what it means. Diane says name of my reindeer will be Ziggy. Olga says knick-knack because the sound they make when walking. Hi Rose. Without access to my fantasy name generator because I'm not good at names. Sven is the name I'd pick. Well, there is no reason why you can't name a reindeer Sven for the obvious reasons. V is here. Hello. 49 Romy is there from Cumbria. Hello, Romy. Or Romy, I should say Romy. I'm pronouncing you the same way as my daughter's name is, but she is slightly spelled differently. Hello, Jane. And Catherine's reindeer would be Poro, which is Finnish for reindeer. Ooh, we're learning something here as well. Angela is in rainy Rutland, and Vicky would put a bell around its neck and call it Jingles. Okay, right, let's do the reindeer. Let's start off, and I'm going to the overhead camera so that we can you can all see it a lot better. Okay, so here we go. We're starting out with this flexible steel wire. I'm going to put all of this to one side because we're starting out with wrapping wool around this wire. However, before we do this, we need to cut it into 15 centimeter lengths. 3 exactly because it's 45 centimeter long, the wire. So we get 3 15 centimeter lengths out of this, and I'm using my scissors as always. And another one here. We've just come back from Harrogate, which is lovely. I love Harrogate at around Christmas time. It is such a pretty, decorated, beautiful place, and we're going back next week for the Country Living fair. I don't know if this is bothering you, but it's bothering me that this screen is slightly wonky, so I'm just straightening this out. Right, so we've got 3 shorter lengths here now, similar size, hopefully, more or less, of the flexible steel wire. I love this flexible steel wire. And I'm going to be going slightly off the instructions only because if you're a total beginner and you're actually making this along with me, then this is a good way to practice your wire wrapping by starting with the middle one, which will also be in the middle of the reindeer. So we're doing this wire at the moment, but in the instruction it tells you to start with the legs. Many ways to get to the same result. Main thing is you can practice to be neat with this piece because everything that you do on this will be hidden inside. So I'm starting to wrap the wool around the wire, keeping it flat like a ribbon, and I'm pulling it with every wrap I'm doing. And then if you bend in the wire that is already covered with the wool, bend it in so that when you put the next layers over it, you're actually joining the two together, and you've just got a very blunt wool covered end here. I hope that's clear. And then continue wrapping towards the other end. Sometimes people find it easier to actually turn the whole thing round and then just twist the wire and allow the wool to sort of slide through your fingers and get put all the way across to the other side. Now the good thing is with this middle part of the reindeer, you don't need to worry about how neat it looks. When you get to the end of the wool, you might have enough to get all the way to the other end. Continue wrapping back on yourself, because the wool will stick to itself much better than at the end of the pipe cleaner. But then remember to start off again in the same direction as you started, so that you get the wool to cover in the same direction. So I'm going to go over this part that I've already covered again, so that the wool that goes over the layer underneath is in the same direction, so you don't actually start unwrapping the wool underneath. And then get to the end here as well. Bend the wire over and cover the end up with the wool, so that you've now got a fairly thick covered piece here. And remember, I'm doing this slightly different from the instructions. This is the spine of the reindeer. Now I'm going to do the legs. I'm going to be much neater with those. We're starting with a brown. If you do need a little bit of help for the wool to stick at the end of the wire, then just take your wire and insert it in the glue bottle, just to get a get a bit of a cover on there, and that will help you to get the wool nicely affixed at the other end. And then go round and round and round like we've done before. So this time, because you're working with a longer strand wool, when you bend the ends in, just keep going round it. It might be a little bit easier to wrap the wool around it. On this part of the legs, all that will be visible later are the other hoofs. So if the rest of the wire doesn't look so neat, it doesn't really matter. Just get it covered up all the way to the other end, as we've done before. Let the wool disappear into itself when you're at the end of a strand. And I'm going to start at the other end. If you've got enough wool to get all the way across to the other side, then make the second hoof in one go. But I didn't have that. Bend it in at the end. Go over that bend end, and then continue wrapping the wool. Pull it tight with every wrap. Go over it and get to the other side. If the middle bit is scarcely wrapped, it doesn't matter. Just go with it. All we're interested in is that the ends are the same. And then you're going to do this once again with the third length of the wire. So get the wool, let's dip it into the bottle. Didn't do that on the other end earlier. So if anybody's heading, or anybody lives in Harrogate or near Harrogate, excuse my cough, we will be at the Harrogate Business Convention Centre, I think that's what it's called, to exhibit at the Country Living Fair. I'll be running many workshops, making little round robins and the holly and mistletoe bauble. You can perhaps still join for the workshops. I'm not entirely sure. They were selling out quite quickly, so I don't know if it's available, but in any case you can always try. And that will take place next week, and it is, let's just have a look, it will be from the 1st to the 4th of December basically. Gosh, I can't believe we're already in December. That reminds me that the unboxing, which is basically on the 1st of December, I will do this. I will pre-record this because I'm actually physically not there. And of course, are you looking forward to unboxing or looking into your first parcel of the Advent wreath, which is this Sunday, is the 1st of Advent. I cannot believe it's already the 1st of Advent, which means then it's only 4 weeks till Christmas. Right, second set of legs are done. The ends is what is important, not the middle. And what you do now is you've got a template here on the back of the instructions, and you're going to bend the template according, you're going to bend that wire according to the template. So it should look something like that, with a clear head, then the neck, and then the rest of the body here. So I've learned, having taught the workshops, that it really works well to bend the end of that tail, but it's not going to be the tail, but the end of that spine in, up, in fact. So because when we're now attaching the legs, and if you've got same length legs, that's perfect. But if you don't, It's not the end of the world because you can make what the one set that's longer shorter. But basically what you do is you bend your legs in half. So you've got 2 A's there. And you've got to put the first set of legs, they're basically going into that bend where the end of the neck here, which is in my case is there. Then fold them around the spine so they're pointing up, and then just twist them back round so they're facing down into the right direction. So that's one set done. And then the other one, and this is why I've bent up the end a little bit, you're going to do exactly the same, but this time at the end. If you've got longer legs, then one set longer than the other, then start out bending your legs like this, point them up and then down again. So you're actually doing a couple of wraps, but I don't have that. So I'm lucky I can just do this and be done with it. So now I've got a very, very skinny reindeer, but it's already standing on 4 legs. All I've got to do now is, let's go to the large camera. There it is. I've got to cover it now, fatten it up so that it gets to this point. And this is how far I got with the other reindeer. It gets to this point. That's what we're going to do next. And we're going to do this together. But before we do this, I just wanted to just remind you again. Remember, it is Rainbow Friday this week. And it's then Fiber Monday on Monday. And we have got a special deal. We're joining the sales. I will also say we're a small business, so our sales are genuine. We don't suddenly just invent products that didn't exist before. It is a genuine sale. We're not just fobbing you off with extras and spares. So get your skates on, get ready to benefit from a discount voucher on Friday. If you want to find out how to get it, you can sign up for our newsletter if you go onto our website. Also keep a keen eye out on social media, where we will be announcing the discount code, and then this will go from Friday to all the way to the weekend, and then on Monday morning you get a new discount code for a different offer for Fiber Monday. So we don't do Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We have done traditionally Rainbow Friday and Fiber Monday, of course. So keep an eye out on that. We hope that you can get lots and lots of useful bargains. Right, here we go. That's how far I got. And now I'm going to add meat to the bones, literally. I also, just before I do this, I wanted to check who's excited for the Cats Protection live craft along this Saturday at 10 a.m. Me, I'll be there, crafting away and making the Cat Angel tree toppers together with so many of you who've been able to support Craft for Cats and the Cats Protection. However, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you do want to join maybe a little bit late, that's entirely possible, then this is what you can do. So we have put together 2 kits. One makes a torty style white and ginger cat or anything in between. The other kit makes a tabby grey or black cat, or a variation of either of those. And all you need to do is, and this will stay for sale on the Cats Protection website, if you type into your browser www.cats.org.uk/wintercraft, it will come up with the kit option, and you can purchase the kit, and half of what you're paying will stay with the Cats Protection. The great thing also is that you can actually nominate your local Cats Protection branch if you want them to benefit from your I'm going to have to push this back here, right there. Can't bear this extra bit in the screen. Yes, you can nominate your local Cats Protection branch if you want them to benefit rather than the overarching branch. Right, let's go back to our little reindeer. So now I'm going to add more generous layers over the top of all of the reindeer. So that means I'm going round the neck. I'm also going between the legs, and it might get a little bit pushed out of shape. Don't worry about that too much. That's okay. And because I want to I'm going to use the felting mat that comes in the kit, might as well. And I just need to get a needle, because from now on you're going to felt into the wool, straight in, straight out, so that you can fasten the wool down, but at the same time you can also sculpt the whole shape. So it will require a little bit more generous wrapping of wool. If your reindeer goes out of shape, don't worry, you can always put it back into shape, because it's wire, so you can bend it quite easily. So add generous layers of wool. You can still pull them tight. Nothing has changed. It's the same technique, wrapping wool around the wire, the wire armature, the frame that you have made. I'm trying out different needles. I'm now using my the blue, which I think is the cross star needle. So maybe if anybody wants to try that, this works quite well on this coarser wool. Just looking what else I've got. Cross star. I've also got a coarse twisted. Let's try that one. A coarse twisted needle. Ooh, that's better. That's definitely better than the blue one. It's very grippy. I'm going to use that now to see what other needles I have got. And I'm felting it down as I go along. With many of your makes, as you well know, things don't always look straight away the way you want them to look. So just bear with it. I've had so much fun during the workshops that I've been running, because of course people think, what on earth is she on about? This will never turn into what I want it to be. But it does. Trust the process. You'll get there. Okay, a little bit more. I think if I had to name a reindeer, what would I call it? I'm just going to have a little think, because the reindeer the reindeer that you obviously name, you know, the famous reindeer, and Donner and Blitzen and so on, a lot of that's actually German words. So I'm just thinking what word is there that we haven't, that isn't in there. Donner and Blitzen. Could it be? Could have Sturm. Sturm is the German word for storm. Could have Hagel. Hagel is a good name. How about Hagel? That's hail. We could have one that's called hail. So following the tradition of the name. And if you don't know, Donner, of course, is thunder, and Blitzen is lightning. So if you didn't know that, there you go. Stabbing it all around, always turning it, stabbing in the wool into place wherever it needs to be felted down. That's the trick of doing this. So at some point, whenever you're wrapping wool, as I'm doing now, I'm building the bulk evenly around the reindeer. So I'm building it on the back, on the side, and on the tummy, and then I felt it down so that I've got an equal cover going all the way around. At some point, you might have to add batches of wool into place, so that they are not just building bulk all around, but that they are actually going very specific onto the parts of the reindeer. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do this on the back of the reindeer. So I'm going to use the wool and just tease layers off, so I can overlay them like this, and then do the same here, some more. So I'm building a wad of wool, and I'm going to put this onto the reindeer like you're putting a nappy onto a baby. Just fold it over the bum, felt it down around the edges first to get it secured, and then obviously on the top as well. But that will now build up the bottom area a little bit more, which is what I want. Just felt it down. We've had quite an adventurous weekend. I taught a mouse workshop thinking that I had an hour and a half, but turns out I only had an hour, because I put the wrong details down when I proposed the workshop, so it was entirely my fault. But we rescued the situation. I had some lovely, lovely people in the workshop, and they were all very accommodating, and we snuck out of the workshop space, and we found a table in the public area of the show, and we finished our mice off, and they were absolutely fantastic. Saying that, I've also got some bad news, which really, really annoyed me, because somebody stole my little robin model for our, you know, remember the robin was the maker's box, and then we turned it into a small kit, and somebody stole it, and I'm too polite to say anything right now here publicly, but many, many words came into my head that I will not mention here right now, and I have absolutely, actually I have no words left for people who do this. I just think it's disgusting. Okay, right. I'm still felting my reindeer, but I'm going to just check what names you're coming up with. Oh, Flash is a good one. Yes, I like that, Flash, which of course is very similar to lightning. Blitzen, so the English word for blitzen as well. Oh, so some also thought of storm, but the English word of storm. Let me just, I'm going backwards again here. I will call my reindeer Cedric. I think that's a really good name for a reindeer, actually. I like that. We've had Jingles. Call him Flash, as he's so quick. A good name would be Rosie. I like Rosie, even if it's named after you, so that's fine. Lorna says mine would be Rufus because of his red nose. Does Rufus mean something like red nose? I have no idea. I thought Rufus isn't that wolf or something. Alison says Bernard, first name that popped into my head. Don't know why. Bernard the reindeer. I like it. My reindeer would be Storm, so no matter what, he can always get through. Oh, I'd like to name mine Snowflake. Nice. So we've had Flash. We've had Frank. I like Frank. Frank the reindeer. Yeah, that sounds like an honest name. Haha, no pun intended. Laura says, oh no. Laura thought we weren't live, but we were live because she hadn't pressed play. Never mind. I've done way worse things than that. Laura says, I love my glue pen. Just refilled it. Got too much PVA glue. Needs using up. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good idea. Refill your glue pen. We also do bottles of larger quantity of glue. So, yes, it does look like a hippopotamus. Thank you, Gina. Okay, I've somehow got to sneak out shopping at some point. Yes, of course, we've got a special weekend coming up. Oh, and Erica joined us. Hello, Erica. Never knew they were German names. Did you not? Donner und Blitzen. It's like thunder and lightning. That's basically it. Oh, I don't know why they're German names. Would be really interesting to find out. But they're quite powerful, strong names as well. So maybe they were just because they like the sound of them. Oh dear. Sorry, Melissa. Melissa says, does anyone else have to pause every couple of minutes to catch up? I've been felting for nearly a year now, but still really slow. No, you're not slow. I'm just really fast. I'm really sorry about this. Svetlana is another name that came to mind. That sounds nice. I'd call my reindeer Lichen, as they dig through snow to find it to eat. I think that's a really nice name, actually. Lichen the reindeer. Very excited for the Cat Angel workshop as well, says Melissa. Laura says her reindeer is going to be called Roderick, and I like that name, Roderick the reindeer. That's a good name. Right, let's go back to. Do we go back to this, or I tell you what? Do you want to see the camel? Can't hear you. Do you want to see the camel? Can't hear you. Yes, you're going to see the camel. I know you do. Probably all shouting in your sitting rooms. Right, this is the camel. This is coming up for the December Makers box. It is a relatively simple make. Needed something a bit more basic and simple. So what, she's gonna spit at you. And then the fairy is this one here. Yeah, that's the blossom fairy. She's just ready to pop out of that pot. And very early blossom. But we've got to look forward to the blossoms coming back. And looking forward to the next surprise book, which is called Frosty. So yeah, that's all good fun. The next live streams are actually the following, which are the Advent Wreath make-alongs. So we have got December the 6th for that, December the 13th, and December the 20th. And then of course also we're starting on the 29th, which is next week, but then these are the ones in December. So next week, Tuesday, we're doing it, and then these are all for December. So you can still watch it even if you haven't got the Advent Wreath, because to be perfectly honest, what we've done before is we'll give the materials out as and when we're doing it, and then if you just want to buy the materials, you can do the wreath as well. Right, I'm going to go back to felting the reindeer. So because the legs were attached almost like an A-frame, we need to now lay him on his back and spread the legs out and cover the tummy as well, so that we have a nice bulky tummy here, and the legs therefore will be forced to come more from the hip rather than just being like these A-frames attached. That's not my needle. Is that it? No, where's my needle gone? Oh no, that was my needle. Here we go. Stab into there. So the other thing that happened during one of the workshops, it's never happened to me before, but I had a lady that became very unwell during my workshop, and it's had nothing to do with me, I swear. At first I thought, oh my goodness, she might have hurt herself or whatever, but no, it was completely unrelated to my workshop, I must say. But the only reason why I'm telling you this is because what are the chances of somebody becoming unwell in a workshop of 20 people, and amongst those 20 people you don't only have a nurse, you've also got a doctor present? What are the chances? Huh? That's what I want to know. I was absolutely gobsmacked that I actually, in that room, when somebody wasn't well, I had a nurse and a doctor present. I couldn't believe. I mean, she was very lucky to have that first hand. He's probably the quickest anybody has ever seen a nurse and a doctor. Maybe I should say, just come to my workshops. Yeah, but of course nobody was to know. Anyway, I'm stabbing the reindeer firmly into the bottom. No reindeer has been harmed in the process of making this reindeer. I refer to it as acupuncture when it gets when it looks a little bit more serious. But now, having done this, you can see the legs are now further apart. Before it was literally an A-frame, and now you've spread the legs wider apart as they're meant to. And talking about legs, we also need to cover the brown legs, well, we don't need to, but I'm going to. And I'm doing this by starting with a wool wrap of the lighter brown, just above the hoof. And then I'm working my way up the leg, all the way up, still going, until I get to the top of the leg. And then the remainder of this wool, I will be folded over the shape of the reindeer and felted down. It's a really good way to get a secure wrap on the leg, and you can always cover up any sort of wool that looks a bit out of place, but you've basically secure now the wrap of the leg on the body, and it makes sense to do that if you want to get a nice secure wrap and joining the two together as well. Right, I'll show you this again. So, in fact, I'm going to show you this 3 times. Take your wool, wrap the wool starting just above the hoof, and you can make the legs much, much bigger. On my original reindeer, they were much sturdier. On this one, I'm making them a little bit less sturdy. So at the end of the wrap, just fold the wool onto the body and felt down. and stab into it. Our earth-friendly felting mat and our eco wool mats are always very popular at shows. I think people are still getting used to not seeing foam mats, and again we are very proud to say that we don't use foam mats anymore. These wool mats are made for us exclusively by a British company, so they're made in the UK, and we don't sell them very expensive. They are quite high cost to make, so unfortunately I really would love to supply people with wholesale wool mats, but I just genuinely can't because we don't have the markup on there. So they're only exclusively available from the makers. Right, I'm going up that leg now, all the way up, and then at the end there's a bit more wool that gets felted down, but that's okay. You can felt that in, get that felted down as well. There's a lot of decoration or finishing off that you can do with a reindeer, including felting him down more firmly and more precisely and all the rest of it. I'm just doing the bare minimum on this reindeer so that we can stick to the hour that I'm doing, rather than having running over time and then keeping you from doing other things that you need to do. The wool, this Caracal Merino felts down rock solid. In your kit you've got plenty of wool. If you want to make a rock solid reindeer, you can. If you like it more fluffy and keep a bit spare wool, you can too. Right, that's 2 legs at the front, 1 leg at the back, so I need to do one more here. And again, I'm starting at the top of the hoof and working my way up to the top of the leg, still wrapping it flat like a ribbon. Nothing has changed. If you don't wrap it flat, you get what will happen is you get a twist in the wool, and that twist looks like a string, and it also, the wool doesn't attach very well to itself. So it's definitely worth wrapping the wool flat, practicing it if need be. Now, one of the things that I kept saying repeatedly at the workshop, if your reindeer looks a little bit like that, that's not because you felted it wrong, that's because the wireframe has got out of shape as you were doing it. So give it the shape you want it to have. Definitely push the spine down a bit so the tummy comes out a little bit more. And I still have to build up layers onto my little reindeer here anyway. I think it's actually more of a moose. It's got quite an unlike reindeer head, but who's counting? It's not exactly a very true to nature one. Incidentally, talking about reindeers, our reindeer from the Makers Box last month is now available to purchase on our website. So this is a pack now. You can get that if you go onto the website, and that has been a very popular project. So I'm really happy to be able to offer it to you now as a one-off purchase. And as always, the sub boxes definitely save you money, so don't think you're getting it cheaper buying it afterwards. It's actually not. We do want to reward our subscribers who are showing loyalty to us, and I don't want to make you feel bad if you have to unsubscribe. I totally get it, because sometimes time and money can be the issues. And so don't for 1 minute feel bad about it. But if you are a subscriber, I want to say a special thank you to you, because you are our bread and butter. Thank you very much. Okay, stabbing my little reindeer down still. And I'm building this quite firmly. This is probably one of the firmer ones that I have made. When I felt along during a workshop, they're usually quite fluffy and unfinished. Talking about unfinished, not that they are unfinished, but this would be sort of typically something that we will offer on our Adopt a Make. The reindeer isn't there yet, but it will definitely come. So if you don't know about Adopt a Make, I think I might have a little thing to show you. So Adopt a Make, basically, you get a finished make, finished by the makers, and it's surplus. Basically, it is an unwanted item that we have no use for. It sounds harsh, I know, but that's where you come in. You can give it a loving home by purchasing it from our website, and it's a nominal fee. We are not doing this because we think that we are amazing at finished needle felting items. Please continue to support artists and makers who do this because they do it for a living. We are doing it purely to cover our costs, and to make sure that our little makes find a loving home. So please please support that good cause in a way, because for me these things can become alive, but I can't have them, can't have them cluttering up our space, because we just physically don't have the space to have them sitting around. So please make sure, if you're looking for a little something maybe to go on your Christmas tree, have a look at our website, but please make sure that you are still supporting makers and artists out there, because they're doing it obviously because they need to earn the money. Right, going back to the little reindeer now. Taking shape, I think I need a bit more bulk on its face and felting it down a little bit more. And then we can start adding essential details such as ears, tail, noses, eyes, and finally the antlers. Okay, just reiterating it again. We have joined two, what is it called? Well, we have added, put it this way, we've added a little button into both our YouTube and into our Facebook. If you want to show your appreciation, because obviously we're doing all of this for free, all the tutorials are free, available for you to watch. But if you want to show a token of appreciation, you don't have to, then get yourself I think it's like a badge that you get on YouTube, and on Facebook you can send us a star, and there's a little bit of money that will come our way. But again, I don't want, we're just doing it as a little bit of extra, because we want to make sure that we can maintain these live streams. They take out quite a lot of time, and I love doing them, don't get me wrong, but my time is getting more and more precious with everything else that I'm doing. So it would be great to see that it also just to get a response, really, to let us know that we are wanted in doing what we're doing. And thank you for that. Right. And felting the head down a bit more. I'm definitely felting this very well, so I'm not cutting any corners. Right, so I've got a little reindeer that I think is ready to receive a tail at least. So the tail is basically just a little flap that hangs down its bum, and it's very easily made. So I'm going to use the lighter color wool, lighter brown, lay it onto my felting mat, and then I'm just going to stab it flat on the mat into a little flappy bit. As you felt anything flat on the mat, you have to lift it off regularly. Felt from the other side. Notice that I'm not felting the end of this little flap, because I want to use these wispy fibers. Currently they're protecting my fingers because I'm holding on to them, but I want to use those wispy fibers to attach the tail to the reindeer. You can stab into your make from the top, but you can also stab into your make from the side. As long as the needle goes in and out in a straight line, it will be absolutely fine. You're not going to break your needle. You only break your needle when you don't use your needle for stabbing, or when you not pay any attention, or if you go straight into a wire. That's the other reason. And I'm going to add a tiny little bit of white on top of my tail here, like that. It will of course be stabbed through to the other side, but that's fine. Stab them back again. And all I need to do now is I'm going to let the wool almost sort of attach it smoothly over the tail, and the little tail is just here attached at the back. So I'm felting these wispy fibers down. This is different to how I will be attaching the ears. Maybe the nurse and the doctor are even watching, because obviously they didn't finish their needle felted reindeer. So I'm hoping that they are able to catch up on either YouTube or on Facebook, if not live, that maybe at some point, so that they're not missing out on making their creation. There we go. Right, that is attached as far as I'm concerned. And now I'm going to do the ears. So the ears are made from the brown wool. Just take a wisp. It's always best to take 2 wisps while you can see the size of the wisp, rather than taking one and then hopefully getting the same for the next one. I'm also folding this in half. You have actually got a template on here. I haven't so much held my reindeer up to the template. I think he's a little bit daintier than the one that I have done before, but basically you've got that template to know where to add the wool and how much to add bulk and where to felt it down. Now the ears I'm stabbing down exactly the same way as I did with the tail, but I'm trying to make them a little bit more pointy. So tease them off the mat, same as you did before. And the wispy ends are useful to hold on at the moment. And just keep stabbing it until you've got a nice solid felted shape. And again with these also, I'm going to make that a bit pointy here. You can also, also need to add a little bit of white. And that is obviously the inside of the ear. Right. Ta-da. It is a very stylized reindeer, so please don't message me and say, oh, reindeers don't have this and reindeers don't have that. I get it. It's completely creative freedom that's happening here, so we know it's not anatomically correct or true to nature even. Right, that's one ear. Now I'll make straight away the other one so you can see what the other one looked like. You can fold the wool over into the center, but if you're doing this, make sure that you fold it before you stab the needle into the mat. I see this all the time. People stab into the mat and then try to manipulate the wool. All you're doing is you're using your needle as a lever, and then you just break your needle. It's not such a good idea. I do break needles too. I'm by no means free of that. As I say, it happens. Sometimes it happens accidentally. I've even broken a needle during the live stream when I accidentally knocked them. They're very, very fragile. There's not much. Well, there's no flexibility in them whatsoever. So if you put pressure on them, put stress on them, they break. Needles tend not to be like you don't get more brittle needles than others. They are pretty much quite sturdy as long as you use them right. So we sometimes get people and say, oh, the needle must be faulty. I've used it only for half an hour and it broke. I'm telling you now, that's not the needle. That's definitely not the needle. You've probably accidentally put stress on it. I've never had a needle that was more breakable than others, unless you use a twisted needle or a finer needle, and they are obviously more fragile because they're slimmer. Right, got 2 ears here now. So the way to attach them is to open up these wispy ends here, and there's quite a lot, so I'm going to take some off. We only went very few wispy ends. And these wispy ends will now be stabbed into the head. Need to put the ears quite far back. In the instructions, I've actually done the eyes first. I'm going off beaten track here again. So the ears need to be quite far back. Get them stabbed down. And when they're stabbed down, then go into the back of the ear at the edge, and then on the other side. And that brings them forward so that they have a sort of more of a shell shape. You can see that they look more slightly bent forward now, and then stab into the imaginary ear hole, and that will complete the shaping of that. There, got a little ear sticking out. Yeah, and then you do that on the other side. It's best to take as many of these fibers off as you dare. because you don't want to cover up the head in the brown, even though we do give it some, you can give it some definition later. And then just get it stabbed on before it gets fastened on too much. Make sure it's in the same place as the other one so that it's symmetrical. Stab into the ear from behind to bring it forward on one side and then on the other side, like that. And then stab into the imaginary ear hole here as well. So you should have 2 ears sticking out on both sides like that. And I am going to fasten the eyes in now because then they have a chance to dry. There's the 2 eyes. These are 6mm eyes, I believe. I'm using, let's use something new. I've got a new tool that I'm going to show you now. They're not listed as far as I'm concerned, but they will be listed soon. And just finding it. Just bear with me, I'm rummaging. We have got 2 new types of awls, which will be sold together in a set. And I do like them. I wanted to try them out because the awl, sorry for rustling, because they're in packaging still. The awls that we normally have they're not so, they can be quite fat at this end. So I'm going to use one of these now. I haven't tried them out yet. So they might be rubbish. I don't think they are. They feel very sturdy, and this one's good because you get a good, can really punch something, punch a hole into wool. Right, so let's try this one. If you haven't got an awl, use your needle. It does work as well. Ooh, nice big hole. That's good. There. Slides in like through butter. Let's try the other one. Oh, that's definitely thicker, slightly thicker. So I think that's probably even more of a hole making tool. So for this sort of smaller work, I definitely like that slightly slimmer tool. Anyway, the eyes are in, and now I just need to secure them with a little dab of glue behind the eyes. So remember, never take the eyes out again, just let the nozzle of the glue bottle go behind it, and that's enough glue just to slip a little bit behind the eye to secure the eye into the head. I'm just going to squish them in so that they can dry. And now I have got my reindeer here. I'm going to show it to you because he looks a little bit forlorn with no antlers on. So I'm going to show you how to do the antlers next. But before I do that, just a quick check-in what we're doing. I will be able to make the last wreath zoom unless I find an evening market. Got half day on the 21st of December, then I'm off until the new year. Yes, it's obviously that this is coming up for Christmas. Don't feel stressed about the Advent wreath because it's staying on YouTube. It's also they're broken down obviously into the 4 weeks, but there's also a reason that please don't feel stressed. The instructions are in there and you should be able to follow the instructions. I think the first one might be good to watch because there's a bit of a technical bit that you might want to watch. I'm not saying anything else, but the first one might be good to watch, even if you have to do it on catch up before you attempt your own wreath. But the instructions should be quite clear. It's just that it's slightly different from normal. Can't say anymore. Oh, Gina says she's been adding the color to her reindeer today. I would call my reindeer Rosie, says Diana. You and the other person. The camel is beautiful. Looks so much easier to do with the legs tucked under. I hated doing the long legs on mine. I know, and I thought the legs were really easy on the reindeer. It was the antlers that I thought were complicated on the Maker's Box. Yes, these are tucked under, and not only are they tucked under, we're also cheating a little bit because the brown bits that you see are not the end of the legs. They're actually the knees. Because they have got long legs. So, and it's such a soft, lovely wool because we're using the alpaca mix for this. So it's yeah, it's a really nice project. You'll enjoy making him. Okay, right. Let's get back to this little project here at hand. Antlers. So basically, you have got a one of the luxury pipe cleaners, and this needs to be cut in half. I'm going to get rid of the extra bits here, and then you're going to use only half of this and sort of bend it briefly into half again. And now you're wrapping this part in the middle about 1 to 2 centimeters. It doesn't have to be very wide, with the main reindeer color wool. Get it on there. I mean, if it gets in the way, then just open the bend pipe cleaner up again, and make it nice and firm and thick. You do want a nice good cover there, because that is now going to fit on top of the reindeer. So once that is wrapped around there, you shouldn't have to felt it down unless it's falling off. Then you put this onto the reindeer. I haven't done the nose yet either. I'm doing this completely the wrong way to the instructions, but anyway, it doesn't really matter which order you're doing it in. And all I'm doing now is I'm stabbing into the cover that I've just added and into the reindeer's head at the same time. That will fasten on the antlers. Should really put the nose on ASAP. Okay, so you're going to stab the wool that you've wrapped around the center of that half pipe cleaner. You're going to stab that into the head of the reindeer. Go as close as you dare to the wire inside that wrap, so that you get as much wool stabbed in as possible. This is your fastening of the antlers now onto the reindeer. And then you're going to add another layer. I've got to squeeze these eyes in again so they don't pop out, because whenever you work on one area, this is why I should have done them before the ears. And then you're going to put a small amount of wool just over that cover here, because he's had, obviously we need to cover that join up now so it doesn't look like the antlers have just been attached. So cover that up and felt that down in front and behind the antlers. They shouldn't flop around. They should be firmly in place, because the wool will have gripped into the pipe cleaner chenille, and then at the same time you are felting this down now. So the only way that you can move them is by bending them, rather than they're swiveling around. So they are firmly felted down. Just finishing off covering them up. There. And that basically fastens on the antlers. I had somebody at the workshop, they gave their reindeer such a cute little hairdo. I absolutely loved it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to copy it and show you, but it was so funny. It was made with a brown wool. It was almost like they had a little toupee on, or a wig. Anyway, I'm going to have to give this reindeer a nose now. So to do the nose, you get actually quite a lot in the kit of the red wool, so don't use it all. You can pre-shape it a little bit with your fingers, but the nose goes right onto the tip of the face. So felt that down into a little patch, and I really like that color red for his nose as well. It's it just looks very nice combined with the other colors, so chosen that on purpose for that reason. If you want the nose to be smaller, use less. If you want it to be bigger, use more. Normal principles apply. Just get it felted down. You will find that you probably have to felt around the area again. However, what you do want to do once you've got it on, you want to felt a little curved line just below the nose for a mouth. So keep stabbing into the area below the nose, just underneath the head, really close to the nose, for a little curved line, and that just puts a little smile on him, and then he just looks like he's got, can you see, looks like he's got sort of quite a big nose there. And you can actually add a tiny little bit of brown into that gap as well. So just twist that and add a little bit of brown if you want to. Because it's a deep gouge, is that a word? Gorge? A deep line. It looks a little bit darker anyway, so adding the brown will just emphasize this, but it might already look, he looks like he's very happy, smiley little reindeer. And then to finish off the antlers, so I wonder if I can just have a little go at this hairdo. It was so funny. So let's just see. So I think what they did is they just used that brown and looks at, yes, that's right, that's what they did. They just put a tuft of hair on top of the antlers. I thought that looked so sweet. Like he's got a tiny little tuft there, look, just like that. Little tuft of hair there. I think that looks very cute, like this. And to finish off the antlers so that they're not just two sticks sticking up, you're going to have to cut the other half of the pipe cleaner in half again. And then all you're going to do is you're going to twist 1/4 of the pipe cleaner now, just around one antler. And then you do this on the other side as well. And you twist it around here as well, so that you've now got a couple of branches coming off, so to speak. And what I've done with a reindeer, bend the hooves forward a bit if you like. What I've done with a reindeer that I originally made, I did add a little bit of coloring, so you can choose what you want to do. Is you can color your reindeer in, you can even give it a bit of a white tummy, and then color in the top in brown, let it come down. I'm not going to do that because I'll be here for another half hour. Just notice one eye is much lower than the other. Tweak it a bit. But that's basically the reindeer complete. And I do like his little hairdo on this one. I do like it. So thank you, whoever gave me that idea. I've just stolen it. And I'm going to go onto the big camera so you can see him properly from the side. There he is. Let's have a look compared to the original one. Is not too bad, right? It's not too bad. Let's have them facing each other. So there you go. There's the two reindeer that I've just made. Well, one of them I've just made, the other one not. And I'm pretty much up. My hour is pretty much up now, so I'm going to stop. But before I go away here now, I am. Oh, Melissa says the caracal merino is absolutely beautiful, lovely to work with. It does give a really solid felt because it's got very strong coarse fibers. I'm just going to check if there's anything else I've forgotten. Oh yes, of course. Remember, we have got a workshop, a face-to-face workshop coming up with talented Agnes. She is going to show you how to make a realistic robin, and I think it's the bird legs that would really persuade me to definitely go onto it. So do get in touch with us and see if we've got spaces left. She's only taking 8 people in that workshop, but if there's a greater demand, then we'll get another date with her in the diary. And I think that's all I've got to say. Just trying to think if I've forgotten anything. Looking around. There's probably lots of things I can tell you, but they've all gone out of my head. So for now, this has it. This has it to be. This is it. That's what it's got to be. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I see you maybe in Harrogate, that would be nice. If not, then I'm sure we'll catch up some other time. But if you are available next Tuesday, then we're also going to unbox. No, not next Tuesday. When are we doing this again? Oh yes, we're not doing this next Tuesday, but the unboxing is on the 1st. And then next Tuesday, we're opening the first week of the Advent wreath. And then, of course, on the 1st of December, some of you might be opening the first of your Advent calendar. So how exciting is this? I think Alicia is going to do a little live on our Everyone a Maker. I can't actually remember if it's on Facebook or Everyone a Maker, on the main page of, I think it's Everyone a Maker, of opening every day of the Advent calendar, but always 24 hours behind most of you probably. So it will be, she's going to open number 1 on the 2nd, and so on and so forth. So if you are, and maybe she has got some little ideas what she's making with it. So make sure that you watch her every day opening another of the envelopes. And that's all from me today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've given us the thumbs up. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any of the future live streams. And remember, we have a huge variety of free tutorials already available on our playlists here on the YouTube channel. So if you ever need to look up anything, there should be a whole library of things. Maybe tell all your friends about it too. And that's all from me. Thank you very much. Lots of love. Bye.